A few minutes before noon, on the 15th of March, 44 BC, someone pushes through a crowd in Rome and presses a small rolled scroll into the hand of Julius Caesar. Inside is the plot to kill him, the plan, the place, the Senate hall he is walking toward right now. By one account, the names. Caesar means to read it later. He carries it into the meeting in his left hand, unread. He has less than an hour to live. And to understand how a man this careful ends up holding his own death warrant without opening it, you have to start the night before, at dinner. March the 14th, evening. Caesar dines at the house of Lepidus, his second in command, and works through the meal, signing letters while the others drink. The talk drifts, the way Roman dinner talk did, to a morbid question. What is the best kind of death? Caesar answers, without looking up from his papers. A sudden one. Reclining at that same dinner is Decimus Brutus, a general Caesar trusts so completely he has written him into his will. Decimus has already sworn to kill him. By tonight, more than 60 senators are in on the secret. Not one of them has talked.
That night, in the official residence Caesar occupies as Rome's chief priest, the story turns strange. Suetonius and Plutarch both say the doors and windows of the bedroom burst open on their own in the dark. Calpurnia, his wife, dreams. The sources cannot agree on what she saw. In one version, she is holding her murdered husband in her arms. In another, an ornament on the roof of the house, an honor the Senate had voted him, tears loose and falls. They only agree on what happened at first light. She begged him not to leave the house.
And Caesar hesitates, which Caesar does not usually do. He is 55 and unwell this morning. One account says spells of dizziness. Weeks earlier, a soothsayer named Spurinna had warned him to expect danger no later than the Ides of March. That is today. So he does what a Roman magistrate does with a decision this size. He orders sacrifices, and priests read the organs of one animal after another, looking for the gods' consent. The signs come back bad. They kill another animal. Bad again. By mid-morning, Caesar has decided to send Mark Antony to dismiss the Senate.
Now cross the city, to the other side of this day. In a marble hall attached to Pompey's great theatre, the Senate is assembling. Scattered through it, more than 60 men are carrying daggers under their togas. They have planned this like officers. Caesar dismissed his Spanish bodyguard months ago, so today he walks with attendants, not soldiers. Next door, under the excuse of preparing for the games, Decimus has staged a troop of his own gladiators, armed backup in case it turns into a fight. And they cannot wait for a better day. In 3 days, Caesar leaves Rome to lead a war against Parthia, wrapped in an army, gone for years. There is even a rumor the Senate will be asked to crown him king to do it. If he does not die today, in this room, he may never be within a dagger's reach again. And their target has just decided to stay home. So the conspiracy sends its best weapon, a friend. Decimus Brutus arrives at Caesar's house, the same man who shared his dinner the night before. Plutarch and Nicolaus preserve the shape of what he said, and it is clever, because it does not argue with the gods. It aims at Caesar's image. The Senate is assembled at your own summons, ready to vote you honors. What should I tell them? Come back when Calpurnia has better dreams? Even a Caesar can be steered, if you know which pride to push. Decimus takes him by the hand and leads him out the door.
Suetonius records the time. Almost the end of the 5th hour. Late morning. The meeting is a short ride away.
On the way, Caesar spots Spurinna in the crowd and mocks him. The Ides of March have come. The answer became famous. They have come, but they have not gone. And then, somewhere in the crush of petitioners, the warning reaches him. Plutarch says it was Artemidorus, a Greek teacher who had picked up the plot from men close to Brutus, pressing the scroll on him with a plea. Read it now, alone. It concerns you. Others said a different hand passed it, or that Artemidorus never fought his way through at all. Every version ends the same way. Caesar tries to read it, is interrupted by petitioner after petitioner, and walks into Pompey's hall, holding the one document that could have saved his life.
At the door of the hall, one more sacrifice. The signs are bad again, and Caesar, even now, hesitates, until Decimus, still at his side, urges him not to keep a full Senate waiting. Outside, the plan's other gear engages. Trebonius intercepts Mark Antony, Caesar's co-consul, loyal and physically the strongest man in his circle, and pins him in conversation by the entrance. Not to spare him, to keep him out of the room. Inside, the Senate rises to its feet as Caesar takes his gilded chair, and men begin drifting toward him. Behind the chair, beside it, in front. The way colleagues crowd a great man when they want a favor.
Tullius Cimber steps up with a petition. Recall my exiled brother. Caesar puts him off. Cimber grabs his toga with both hands and wrenches it down from his shoulder, pinning his arms. That is the signal. Casca, standing behind, strikes first, and botches it, a nervous, shallow cut near the neck. Caesar twists around, catches him, by one account, drives his writing stylus through Casca's arm, and Casca panics and screams in Greek for his brother. Then the room collapses inward, daggers from every side. Plutarch says Caesar was driven like a wild animal, hemmed in, and the attackers pressed so close in such panic that they began cutting each other. Cassius slashed Brutus's hand. And Caesar fought, the sources say, until he saw Brutus's dagger out. Then he pulled his toga up over his head and went down at the base of a statue. The statue of Pompey, the rival he had beaten to rule the world, standing over him.
And here, the most famous line in Roman history evaporates. Et tu, Brute? You too, Brutus? That is Shakespeare, writing in London 16.5 centuries later. The ancient sources say something bleaker. Suetonius, he uttered no word, only a groan at the first blow. Suetonius then adds that some had written that Caesar, as Brutus rushed him, said in Greek, kai su teknon, you too, child. And Suetonius reports it strictly as a rumor, one he does not vouch for. The best attested death of Julius Caesar is silence, a covered face, and 23 wounds.
The hall empties in a stampede. Senators who knew nothing run for the doors. The killers walk out through the panic, holding their daggers up, shouting about liberty. And for hours, the body of the master of the Roman world lies where it fell, at Pompey's feet, while rumor tears through the city. The Senate is being slaughtered, an army is coming. Finally, 3 household slaves load Caesar onto his own litter and carry him home through the streets, one arm hanging over the side. Nicolaus says people wept from the rooftops and doorways as it passed, and that Calpurnia ran out of the house to meet it.
At the house, a physician named Antistius examines the body. It is often called the earliest recorded forensic examination in history, and his finding, preserved by Suetonius, is the coldest fact of the day. 23 wounds. One early account says 35, but 23 is the number Rome remembered. And of the 23, exactly one was fatal. The second wound to the chest. Read that verdict the other way around, and it describes the crime. Some of the most powerful men in Rome pushed a blade into a man who was already dying. Not to kill him, to have been one of the killers.
They called it a liberation. Within 2 days, it started coming apart. The Senate brokered a truce. The killers go unpunished, but Caesar's acts stand, and he receives a public funeral. Then his will was opened. A cash gift to every citizen of Rome. His private gardens given to the public, and named among the heirs of the second degree, Decimus Brutus. At the funeral, Antony displayed the torn, blood-stiffened toga on a pole, and Appian records that when the crowd could not see the body itself, someone raised a wax effigy of Caesar above the bier and turned it by a mechanism, slowly, so that everyone in the forum could count all 23 wounds. Rome broke. The crowd burned the body right there in the forum, on a pyre of benches and offerings, and then went looking for the assassins with torches.
Suetonius wrote the conspiracy's epitaph. Hardly any of the assassins outlived Caesar by more than 3 years, and hardly any died a natural death. Trebonius, the man who held Antony at the door, was the first to go, killed in Asia within a year. Decimus, the friend who talked Caesar out of his house, was abandoned by his own troops and executed. Brutus and Cassius died at Philippi on their own swords, and the republic they had killed for died with them. Out of the civil wars they restarted came Caesar's heir, Octavian, who took the name Augustus and ruled alone for over 40 years. The men in that room stabbed a dictator and made an emperor.
There is a place in Rome where you can stand inside this story. A sunken square called Largo di Torre Argentina. Tram bells and traffic on every side. Stray cats sleeping on 2,000-year-old stone. Down among the temples are the remains researchers have argued belong to the Curia of Pompey, including a concrete platform they believe Augustus installed to seal the spot where Caesar fell. In 2023, for the first time, a walkway opened and let visitors go down and walk beside it. Caesar joked with the soothsayer on the way here. The Ides of March have come. And 2,000 years later, standing in that square, you could answer him. Come, but not gone.